My tattoos tend to be the thing that I get the most comments and questions on. So I figured I would show you guys my tattoo tour. You ready? Let's go. I want to start this by saying if you are getting a tattoo, please make sure that you go to a reputable shop, research your artist, get to know them, make sure that you vibe well. And when you are ready to go, make sure that the drawing is absolutely perfect. It's exactly what you want, but be willing to work with your artist. Can I say that real quick? Be willing to work with your artist, but make sure that you are happy with the drawing that comes out, and make sure that everything is opened in front of you. You know that it's sanitary. You know that it's safe. Now, saying that, my first tattoo was a friend of a friend for $40 in his house. Yeah. And it was kind of a weird story. I was underage. I was 17. It was about a month before I turned 18, and I am extremely impatient. So a friend of mine said that he knew this guy, just came from New York, had about 6 years experience tattooing, but he didn't have a client base in California, so he was doing cheaper tattoos to kind of build that up. So I was like, okay, heck yeah, let's do it. And that was my first tattoo, and I was really pleased with it. I absolutely loved it. The guy was awesome. I loved the drawing from the get-go. I was extremely happy with my tattoo. It cost me $40. He knew that I was underage. So it cost me $40. I was really happy with it. And then come to find out, oh geez, it was a few weeks after, so it was healing. Everything was fine. The guy that did my tattoo, the friend that led me to him, actually let me know that he had only about 6 months experience, not 6 years. He was a brand new tattoo artist. That's why he was in his house, not in a shop. And I was kind of like, I was pretty pissed off about it. I'm still very pleased with the tattoo, but looking back now, that could have turned into a horror story very, very fast. I knew to make sure that everything was sanitized and that everything was sterile. He opened everything in front of me. He was very professional, but I was upset at the fact that I was given wrong information about my artist. So, word of the wise, please, please go to a reputable shop. Make sure that you know your artist. Make sure that everything is safe, because that could have turned really bad really, really fast. I didn't really have a meaning for the feather tattoo. Again, I was 17. I really wanted a tattoo. I thought it was beautiful. It fit perfectly on me, so I wanted it. No real meaning, but still, it's a huge part of my life, so I still love the tattoo. Tattoo happened just a few days after my birthday, so about a month after I got my feather tattoo. I got my first legal tattoo in a really, really high rated shop. My artist was amazing. He helped me a lot putting my grandmother's script into the kind of font that I had chosen. So it's a blend between my granny's font and a script that I had chosen, just so it was a little bit more legible. It's a phrase that she says all the time. If anything ever goes wrong, if I ever call her with a problem, she always reminds me that this too shall pass. So I wanted to get that as my first legal tattoo. I wanted to get that reminder so that whenever I look at myself, I can see that this is going to pass and that everything is going to be okay. So it's a nice reminder to have her there with me all the time. Like I said, I got this in a really high rated shop. My artist was amazing. It only took a few minutes. Originally, I wanted it deep in here. And that's why you pick a really good artist, because he let me know in here, it's not going to last as long, it's not going to be as pretty, it's not going to be as legible. So I moved it up here. And he did this for me. It took him, like 30 minutes. I don't know. I did put a deposit down, and it ended up costing about $125 total. Yeah, babe. Okay. maybe a couple of months after I turned 18. It was for my current boyfriend that I had at the time. And for a long time after we had broken up, I actually I lied about the meaning of it. What had happened was he was extremely controlling, very mentally and sexually abusive. So kind of as a marker that I was his, I got this tattoo because he spoke French. So I got this because I knew that putting his name on me was not the way to go. So I got this to kind of signify for him, like his marker. And then when we broke up for a really long time, I lied about it because I didn't kind of want to relive those years that, you know, were so hard, that were so hard to go through. I didn't want to relive that. But now, marrying Trevor and having the relationship that we have and knowing what a relationship is supposed to be like, I can kind of look back at it now as a reminder that there were bad times, but that I was a survivor of such an abusive relationship, and that I was able to get out, and it made me a stronger person. It made me who I am, and more importantly, it was the reason that I met Trevor. So it is definitely not my favorite tattoo, but it is a constant reminder that I am stronger and better than I was before. I love my Gypsy Girl. This one is probably, as far as stories go, this is most definitely my favorite story. When I was up north, living with my boyfriend, we had gotten a little bit of extra money, and he had seen this thing about a fishbowl tattoo. And it was over in Chico, which was just about an hour from my apartment. So I called over to make sure that they still did it, and they did. So we hopped in the truck with one of our really good friends, and we drove down, and it's this giant fishbowl. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's this giant fishbowl with tons of little tiny pieces of paper with little descriptors written on them. You pay $20, you draw a ticket, your artist draws a ticket, and then you get to choose between those two which one you want to get tattooed, and then it's $40 for a tattoo. So I paid my $20, and my two choices were a lady and an owl. And he saw my roses. So it was kind of like, you know, if you like that kind of traditional, neo-traditional, you need to do this. Let me do this for you. So he drew it up, and that was the Gypsy, and I fell in love with it. And as small as it was, I really wanted it on my foot. For whatever reason, I thought the placement was perfect. So I sat through it, and that was probably one of the most painful. I would say that was second most painful tattoo that I had ever gotten. But she turned out beautiful, and she's just one of my favorite tattoos. I think it's just, I don't know, she's just a reminder of a really fun story that I really would have never done. But it happened. Reminder of my fun side. That I got when I was 18, and they're probably next to my girl, they're probably the one that people comment on the most. They were actually done by an artist that my sister knew, that had done some work for her, so I went to him because she was really pleased with it. They were drawn by his apprentice. They didn't take very long. I honestly don't remember how much they cost. They don't really have a meaning. It was something that I had thought was a little bit different, but I knew that I wanted the roses. I felt like that was just so very feminine and so beautiful and so unique. It was something that I knew that I just really wanted to have. So I went ahead and I got them done. But it's just kind of a reminder. I really don't know why, but it was always kind of a reminder that I have people on my side. I have women on my side all the time. So they were actually redone when I got my girl done. He re-outlined them for me, and I never did have time to go get the color redone, but it is definitely on my list to have these finished. Now, my girl right here, I call her Bonnie. She is the one that people comment on the most when I am out in public or on my pictures. Everybody absolutely loves Bonnie. And why wouldn't you? This one I got shortly after I did an outage with my husband. It's basically working a crap load of hours. When a plant goes down, it's a whole nother thing. But we had a whole bunch of extra money. I hadn't gotten a tattoo in a while, and I told him, like, hey, I found this thing. I really want to get it done. And I really wanted... I really wanted something that was beautiful right here. I wanted kind of that beautiful girl on my arm. So I went ahead and I got this done. At the same time, I got this outlined. It's my clipper ship with my waves. And the quote says, "Heaven knows smooth seas don't make a skillful sailor." Because I got this shortly after Trevor and I had gotten married. And it was kind of just a reminder that, you know, if I hadn't been through that abusive relationship, if I hadn't struggled so much, then I never would have been in that place at that time that I met Trevor. So the waters were very rough. It was really, it was not a great experience. It's not something that I would wish on anyone, but it made me stronger, and it made me a better person, and it ultimately led me to the life that I have right now. The ship does not have any color yet. That's another thing that I didn't get to finish, which I would like to get that finished pretty soon. But this was most definitely my most painful tattoo, hands down. Worse than the ribs and the hip and the foot combined. This was brutal. Probably because he did have to go over a lot of stretch marks. It's a very sensitive area anyways, but going over all of those stretch marks and going all the way up into my armpit was extremely, extremely painful, but totally. A tattoo on my hip that says "Come What May." That was a sister tattoo. When I was still up in Reading, it was probably, I think, the second time that I brought Trevor home. It was for Christmas or Thanksgiving, maybe the first time. I don't remember. One of the first couple of times that I brought Trevor home for Christmas, my sister wanted us to get matching sister tattoos. So we went to someone that she knew where she lives. It's just about 30 minutes from us. And we went and we got these matching tattoos. It's actually, if I have any musical fans, Moulin Rouge was the video that we used to watch together all the time. It's kind of our like sisterly bond movie. That's whenever we're together and we have a movie day, or if we're chilling, we watch Moulin Rouge. So that "Come What May" song was kind of our thing because we were very close growing up. For a long time, she was my mom. So we have a really close bond in that, you know, "Come what may, I will love you" was kind of very significant for us. So she decided that that's what we wanted to get tattooed. That's what we were going to have. And it made the perfect sister tattoo. It was also extremely painful right there. The last tattoo that I have gotten in several years has been this one. It says "I love you, Mama," if you guys can't see it, with 3 little tiny hearts. And this one we got on my sister's birthday. When she was living out in Wyoming, my mom and I went out to visit her for her birthday and see the babies and hang out. And she had this scheduled like far in advance to get us these 3 tattoos. My mom says, I love you more, or I love you most. I think I love you more. I don't know. Stephanie says, I love you, Mom, with the 3 hearts. I have I love you, Mama, with the 3 hearts. And my mom has I love you most with the 3 hearts, signifying my brother, my sister, and me. Those are the 3 children that she gave birth to, not including my half-brothers. So that was kind of, I don't know what the word is for it, but we got this tattoo in the morning on August 8th for my sister's birthday, and then in the evening on August 8th on my sister's birthday, I found out that I was pregnant with Abel. So to get a mom tattoo on the day that I found out I was pregnant just, of course, made me bawl like a big fat baby. And of course, if I had known beforehand, I wouldn't have gone with a tattoo. But obviously, Abel's fine. I had a really healthy pregnancy. I'm not saying get a tattoo while you're pregnant. Please don't. But it was kind of a really weird coincidence to get a mom tattoo on the day that I found out that I was pregnant with my first child. Do I have any regrets for my tattoos? Absolutely not. A lot of my tattoos might not have a big fat meaning behind them or a lot of planning that went into them. They were kind of impulse, some of them. But each one tells a story of who I was in that season of my life. And because of that, my tattoos are the story of who I am. So I don't regret any of my tattoos, even the ones that might have not been well done on the first try, or the ones that have a meaning for an abusive ex-boyfriend. They still tell a story of who I am, who I was, and to me that means more than anything, to have kind of this visual representation of my life. And that's why I love my tattoos. Absolutely, I want more. I have plans for full sleeves. I would love to get some on my back. I have a lot planned out. I just haven't gone and done it yet because I've been working or pregnant or broke. So I'm planning to do a couple, especially this year. I'll be doing a lot more. And because of my profession, the way that I've chosen to be an online fitness coach, I have that kind of freedom to look the way that whatever I want. I don't have somebody telling me that I can't have the visible tattoos. So full sleeves, I would love to have a neck tattoo. I would love to have finger and hand tattoos. The whole shebang. I just haven't done it yet. But I know that I can. The artist that did my half sleeve right here is absolutely incredible. I will see if he can give me permission to link his Facebook profile. Don't want to link it without his permission because it is his personal profile. But if you are in the SoCal area around LA, Palmdale, I believe he's based in Palmdale right now. He's an amazing artist. Right now, my favorite is actually somebody that's kind of an up-and-comer. He was a groomsman in our wedding. He drew watches on all of us, which is going to be my next tattoo for our wedding. He is in the Pismo, San Luis Obispo area, so if you are in that area, make sure you go have a look. I will link his Instagram below so you can check out some of his work. Very neo-traditional, which is very my style. He's an incredible artist, so if you are in that area and you need a tattoo, make sure you check him out. My mom absolutely loves my tattoos. If she could, she would have 100 more with me. My dad, not so much. He still loves me. He's still very supportive of who I am. He's just very old school, very, he's a good old Wyoming boy. He does not so much care for my tattoos, but he loves me regardless. So that I would like to get first. Again, I have a ton that I would love to do, but the next one is probably going to be that watch tattoo that I talked about earlier. For our wedding, we had it September 18th, midday on a Wednesday. It was kind of a weird timing. And again, one of Trevor's groomsmen, one of his best friends for the longest time, drew a watch on Trevor and I and all the groomsmen and all the bridesmaids. with the time 9/18, because we got married September 18th. And that's kind of been this thing. We took a ton of pictures with it, with all of us with our watches. So that's something that Trevor and I have been wanting to do for a really long time, is to each get a watch tattoo with 9/18 on it. So that's going to be my next one. Well, guys, thank you so much for checking out my tattoo tour. If you want to see more of them, go ahead and check out my Instagram. I wear a lot of tank tops, so you see them quite a bit. If you have any more questions, feel free to message me. I'm totally fine to answer more. Those are just the ones that I usually get, the ones that kind of came up the most often. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to message me. I will link my favorite artists down below so you can check them out. And thank you for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you hit subscribe. I will see you guys later. Bye!